Good morning. My name is Sarah Schutz. I teach Spanish here at Grace Prep, and I also get to work with the seniors as they work on their senior projects. I have a privilege of working very closely with them. I help them in the beginning when the ideas are just coming to life. I get to comfort them in the middle of the year through the rough patches, and there are rough patches. And I rejoice with them in April when they successfully complete their finished project. These projects are, as we say every year, some of the best we've ever seen. The seniors definitely outdid themselves, and I'm very honored to have worked with them this year. The Senior Legacy Projects are one of the coolest things we do at Grace Prep. These projects truly emphasize, maybe better than anything that we do, how well-rounded and prepared for life after high school a Grace Prep student is. If you've never seen a senior project presented, I challenge you, I urge you, if I had the authority, I would force you next April to go and watch a senior project presentation. You will not regret it. To give you an idea of what the projects consist of, this year, Caleb Pons traveled to Malaysia. Carolina Solis raised $2,500 for her orphanage in the Dominican Republic. Katie Bachman taught students at Nittany Christian how to cope with learning disabilities. Meade Lewis served the State College community by offering free graphic design services. Emily Call used photographs to gather quotes from residents of nursing homes and made a coffee table book. Justine Adelman shadowed a professional photographer, and she offered free photo shoots to families who could otherwise not afford professional photos. Ivy Kim held a Bible study at the Brookline Nursing Home. Amy Ju backpacked across Europe by herself. Jaquan Masteller made an herbal products recipe book, and he encouraged students to use natural products in their daily lives. And Paul Spang created an 8-minute short film, and he held an art show in a funeral home. Like I said, the seniors outdid themselves this year. We are going to honor 4 of our seniors who we felt had outstanding projects. These 4 seniors have received the highest distinction. Our first project to receive highest distinction was completed by Tim Osaski. Tim's project was titled Home on the Range. If you know Tim at all, then you're not going to be surprised that he chose a project that focused on firearms. For his project, he purchased and assembled an M4 rifle, he underwent training on the weapon, and he entered several competitions throughout the year. In March, Tim gave a presentation to the school on firearm safety and awareness, and he taught us the valuable distinction between wolves and sheepdogs. If you don't know what a sheepdog is, ask Tim later. He concluded with an all-school trip to Scotia Range where everyone had the opportunity to test 6 different firearms, and no one was injured. Tim's event at Scotia Range raised over $1,000 for Camp Cadet. Congratulations, Tim, on an outstanding project. Our second project to receive highest distinction was completed by Dalton Williams. Dalton's project was titled Brave New World. This was the title of his 4-track EP. He wrote and composed 4 original songs. He put a band together, organized rehearsals, and recorded a CD. He went through the mastering, producing, and copying process, and he handled all of the logistics and details like a true professional. He finished his project with a CD release party at the Assembly of God Church, where he performed his music, and he raised over $1,000 for his church, Family Life of Penns Valley. Dalton took on a tremendous amount of work his senior year, and even though it was stressful at times, his love of worship and his pursuit of God's calling on his life was evident in the finished product. Congratulations, Dalton. You had an outstanding project. Our third project to receive highest distinction was completed by Abby Helsel. Abby fell in love with Ballet Magnificat last summer. She came into her senior year determined to bring them to State College and share her love of them with everyone else. Abby also took on an incredibly challenging project, and if you were at the ballet, you would never know that a high school senior had organized that event. Abby sold out the State Theater, something that dance shows apparently never do. She also raised over $5,000 for Ballet Magnificat. This money allows them to continue to tour the country and the world and spread the message of Jesus Christ through dance. The most exciting part of this project for me is not what Abby accomplished, but the fact that she'll be joining the ballet company in the fall. This project has pointed Abby towards God's calling on her life. I thought that was good. I can't wait until Ballet Magnificat returns to State College with Abby on stage. Congratulations, Abby. You had an outstanding project. Finally, our fourth project to receive highest distinction was completed by Lexi Gresh. I have the privilege of introducing her. She had one of the most thought-provoking, awe-inspiring, and motivating projects in the history of Grace Prep. She devoted her entire senior year to the prevention of human trafficking in India. She partnered with Rob and Areta Grable, who are currently serving in India. She developed a curriculum to help them teach young girls the truth of Jesus Christ. She concluded her project with a trip to India, where she was able to teach her curriculum to the girls that had been on her heart all year. It was apparent from her presentation in April that this project was truly life-changing. Here to share a little more about her senior project is Lexi Gresh.
The Indian girl, created in the image of God and daughter of the Most High King, yet a commodity for many in India and around the world. Born just as innocent as any other child, yet at the age of 12, her innocence is stolen. She loves to play, she loves to dance, she loves to learn. She has dreams and aspirations. Naive of her family's poverty, she loves her family, her siblings, her friends. Yet one day, those who she loves will abandon her to a life of pain and anguish. Others' greed and selfishness has now overpowered her and destroyed any dream she had of becoming more one day. She's trapped in a never-ending cycle of darkness, only to one day be discarded as barely human. Night after night, she hopes for a way out. Who will show her? How will she find true hope? This story of the Indian girl, as shared by Robin Areta Grable, caught my heart about 10 months ago. And when I found out that it's estimated that 2 million children are sold into sex trafficking each year, I had to do something about it. So I devoted my senior project to Grace Prep, the Innocence for India campaign, to making a move towards reducing this number. Its main purpose is to bring hope and possibility to women and young girls who are being sold into prostitution in India. The project has 3 distinct sections to it. The first section was a writing project, creating a Bible curriculum with the intent of teaching moral values and consequential thinking about risks and safety to children who are at risk of being sold. The curriculum consists of 11 lessons, each consisting of Bible stories and activities, and it totals about 30 pages. And it's sort of personalized for the situation that the kids that are going to be hearing the lessons are in. For example, there will be lessons about honoring your bodies and respecting your bodies for the girls who are going somewhere where they're not going to be respected. And there are lessons, like the Bible stories, the story of Joseph, who was sold by his brothers, but he forgave them, and he chose to love them anyways. And the lessons were taught I taught them at my church in Sunday school, and they were also taken to Myanmar and taught to orphans in Myanmar. The second section was an awareness campaign, raising funds and awareness in State College for the campaign and for the issue. And I raised the funds for preventative projects being done by missionaries Robin Areta Grable and the Jeevan Chaya Foundation in India. The campaign consisted of a series of awareness and fundraising events around State College, including a presentation at Center Church, sharing in a Grace Prep chapel, a Facebook page, a concert, sharing as a guest on a national radio show, and a standalone event for women. The event is pictured here, and it was the main part of my campaign. And it featured a sale of jewelry that was created by girls who were rescued. And their new life is now they're an artist, they're a jewelry maker, and so I sold the jewelry here. And the campaign was really successful, totaled raising around $4,800 and reached over 4,231 people. And then the last section of my project was planning and executing a trip to India that I took in April to teach some of the curriculum that I wrote and to work hands-on with the prevention projects that are going on there. The trip was really an adventure. I went by myself, and I was immersed in Indian culture and just got to live the life of the missionaries that are working there. I got to teach my lessons 3 different times to children who were at risk. One of those times was actually on the roof of a brothel. And I only have one picture from when I was there because it wasn't easy to take pictures. But it's the next picture. And the trip changed my life, and it changed me. But I taught these kids about forgiveness, and when I was there, I spoke about not only forgiving each other, which they're going to have to do a lot in the future, forgive a lot of people, but I taught about repentance and when we do things wrong, how we can come to God. He's always forgiving, unconditional love. And if you would go back to that picture, Jared. The thing about this picture, it's the only picture that I got, and later I found out that the last picture, the door, the one of me with the kids, there's a door on the right-hand side of the picture, and when I left, I found out that the leader of the village, who is actually in charge of the brothel, and he is the one who's actually selling the girls, was in that door, and he was listening to me, teaching me a lesson about repentance, and I hope that my words had some sort of effect on him. And then another time that I got to do something really cool was here. I got to go into a village where they were teaching the girls to make the jewelry, hoping that they'll choose that lifestyle instead of prostitution. And while I was there, we were working with them, and they were 15 years old. Those girls are 15. And I realized it was surreal to be there because their life they're currently being exploited. They're prostitutes. And I can't imagine what that's like. And I had fallen in love with them before I went over there, but just being there was just surreal. And when they were leaving me, which is the next picture, I felt like I had spent so much time thinking about them, praying for them, and I thought that when I got to India, my heart would just be broken. I would be devastated. But when I left, I was actually, I found new hope because God is really raising missionaries up there. He's raising people up to save them, and God is working there, and he's doing things, and I was just amazed. So when I looked at these girls, I wasn't devastated. I was full of hope for their future and what they can become. And I was reminded of Sunaina. That's this girl's name, and she's 12 years old. She lives in India, and she is in line to be sold. She's a real girl. Like, at this moment, she's there, and she is about to face a really difficult reality. And just through my senior project, I was able to just learn about everything that's going on. I was able to share it with a lot of people, and I just hope that it made an impact, because it certainly made an impact on me. And so I hope that my project left a legacy. My curriculum is there now, and it's going to be taught to these girls, and I hope that the words are used for the glory of the Lord. And I just hope that people were inspired to get involved and take on the challenge of fighting this. So that's all. Thank you.